All right, this is take two. Hopefully everything is going well. Hey, Chris Jenkins, credential member of the media covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, aka man of the people, with a lot of information that we're going to try to get over to you all this evening about the Carolina Panthers and their free agent signings. It was a very busy day, starting the day off with taking care of their own, and then actually ended the day with taking care of their own, and all in the between that there were a lot of other free agent signings today. So this man right here, this man right here, yes, that's Mr. Dapper Dan. Just hey, this guy had a plan, and they attacked it viciously today with a lot of free agent signings. And again, started the day off, and I can't say end of the day because the day is not over, with starting the day with signing their own and also finishing the day with signing their own. So we're going to go through it all. There may be some news that happens while I'm talking to you. If that is the case, I'll just continue to update you all with Twitter posts or as well as YouTube posts, and we'll just take it all from there. So let me know if everything's all right. I have done an upgrade to my software, and it's been a little quirky, to be honest with you guys. So if you notice anything out of whack, you guys are always my other half, so let me know, and we'll be sure to get it updated and corrected. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into all this. Hold on, I just got an alert, make sure there's nothing. All right. So far, we're still good. But as I mentioned, the day started off with not this guy, but it started off with Jaycee Horn becoming the highest paid cornerback in the NFL. Yes, we have the highest paid cornerback in the NFL on the Carolina Panthers team. That is cornerback Jaycee Horn agreeing today to a deal that is 4 years. Oh my goodness, am I going to believe I don't have it directly in front of me? Oh boy. Here we go. We'll see a little bit. Look at this graphic. 4 years, $25 million per year, $100 million contract. And man, quite a bit of that contract was guaranteed. Let me quickly get that back up in front of me. I thought I had all my I's dotted and T's crossed, but I guess I'm missing one. Give me just a second because I want to make sure I get this right for you guys. 4-year contract, $25 million with how much was guaranteed in this contract? Oh man, it's been a day. There we go. Finally found it. $70 million guaranteed. 4 years, average annual value, $25 million per year. Makes him the highest on the average annual value, and also has $70 million guaranteed. So that's not a bad deal for Jaycee Horn. Coming off his first Pro Bowl selection as a pro, coming off his most healthy season. So certainly you can say, hey, good deal, bad deal, did we pay too much? Well, before you get into, hey, did we really pay too much for Jaycee Horn? You got to look at it in terms of teams have their own value that they place on the player as well, right? And we may not have wanted to make him the highest paid cornerback in the league, but we look at our master plan. What does this team want to be? What players do we need? Who do we like? Who do we know? Knowing a player is also very important in terms of how you value him, maybe more than another team will, because you know what he brings. That may not have been worth letting Jaycee Horn go and test the market and, $2 or $3, $4 million here, right? So you look at it from that perspective as well when you're considering, hey, did we overpay for this guy? But I'm excited to have him back. This certainly starts to anchor that defense where you had Derek Brown that was anchored up front. We knew that Dan Morgan was high on Jaycee Horn, and there was a pretty good chance that we sign him. So it now has happened maybe a week later than some thought, but it has happened. And let's go ahead and take a look, since we're talking about his salary. Let's go ahead and take a look at how he stacks up compared to other guys in the league. So you see, he's number one. Closely trailing is Jalen Ramsey and Patrick Surtain. I think those guys are really certainly the upper echelon, $25, $24 million basically for those guys. And then Jair Alexander, AJ Terrell, Denzel Ward. You can read the rest of the list. On and on. Top 10 guys in the league. Our cornerback, Jaycee Horn, is number one. So that's pretty good. Congrats to JC for that. And let's go ahead and also take a look at this. If you are curious, because I was, when was the last time that the Carolina Panthers had a player on the team that was the highest paid at their position? When was the last time that happened? Let's go and take a look. I actually got it together for you guys. Last time, that's not what I want to show you. Here we go. The highest paid Panthers at their positions over the recent years. So you have last was running back Christian McCaffrey, now with the San Francisco 49ers. I think today it was announced, or at least I saw it was announced, that him and his wife are now expecting their first child together. But back in April of 2020, running back Christian McCaffrey was the highest paid running back, 4-year, $64 million contract that Christian signed. And as we all know, Saquon Barkley has now superseded that, and he is the highest paid running back. Not surprisingly, being a running back that was on a team that won a Super Bowl, and he had almost broke the record for single yardage in a season. So Christian McCaffrey. And then you have center Ryan Khalil. You got to go back all the way to 2011. That's about 15 years ago, in which center Ryan Khalil was the highest paid at his position at center. 6-year, $49 million contract there for Ryan Khalil. And then a little bit further, not too much further back, John Beeson signed a 5-year, $50 million contract. And I put an asterisk on here because he was not the highest paid edge rusher, but he was indeed well paid. And that was Charles Johnson back. I forgot the exact year of this. I forgot to put that on here. But Charles Johnson, 6 years, $72 million. So those are some of the previous Carolina Panthers who were the highest paid at their position. And as I mentioned before, Jaycee Horn is now the highest paid cornerback in the NFL. Got a little stat for you that I want to show as well about Jaycee Horn. One of the many stats from last year and his great performance. You see here, cornerbacks in the 2024 season. Lowest completion percentage allowed. And I know he was actually leading in this several times as well. But you see, he was just number 4 behind Kamari Lassiter, Derek Stingley. Right, man, them Texans had some good guys in their secondary. Nate Wiggins, and then you see there Jaycee Horn, number 4 with a 50.7 completion percentage allowed with quarterbacks coming his way. So congratulations to you, Jaycee Horn. Hopefully, I don't know how in the world I can do it. I can pull them off getting on the show, try to continue to be the man of the people. Don't have anything near that coordinator, so I'm not saying that, but I will try to continue to do my job, bringing these guys to you so that you can have, get to know them, get to see them, and talk to them. So we're going to continue to move along this list. By the way, we're going to now go into free agents signings today by Dan Morgan and crew. Free agent, I don't know if you want to call it legal tampering. I'm not sure if that's the NBA term for it or not. But on Monday, today, is obviously when teams can start agreeing to deals with players in free agency. However, nothing becomes official until, I believe that's Wednesday at 4 p.m. So you're not going to see any pictures of these guys that I'm about to talk about, in the Carolina Panthers stadium signing their contracts, shaking Dave Canales' hand and Dan Morgan and company, or David Tepper for even that matter. You're not going to see that until starting Thursday, but you will continue to have announcements for free agent signings today until. So let's go ahead and work through this. First up, we got some help on the defense, unsurprisingly, right? Unsurprisingly, we got some help on the defense, and that would be this young man here from the Las Vegas Raiders. Carolina Panthers signed safety Tre'von gotta get this name down. Moehrig, hopefully I'm getting that close, to a 3-year deal worth $51 million with a $60 million max with the incentives. Again, 3-year deal worth $51 million with a $60 million max. So we got some help for JC back there in that secondary. At the time, that was extremely crucial because we didn't have anybody else signed. Again, I haven't gone through the rest of the list yet, but we do have more signings for him. At the time, we filled a gap though, because here's our free agent list that we had. Lots of missing secondary. Mike Jackson, Caleb Farley, Xavier Woods, Jordan Fuller, Nick Scott, Seth Franklin, and Lonnie Johnson. Just part of that secondary, which we do not have under contract. Now, there's going to be a little asterisk to that, but that was the list right there. Now, he's a physical defender. He's darn good at stopping the run. So no surprise there that as we build the defense, improve on the defense, part of that is getting some run stoppers. This guy was in a 96th percentile for stopping the run. Really good at, and that's according to Pro Football Focus. Really, really good at stopping the run. Really, really good physical guy. Last year for the Raiders, he had 104 tackles, 10 pass deflections, 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles, and 1 sack. So, yeah, it's hard for a guy playing that far back to get a sack. Jaycee Horn managed to get one last year against the Cowboys. Not something they're able to get too often, but again, pretty good performance from him last year. 104 combined tackles, 10 pass deflections, 2 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, and 1 sack is what Moehrig had last year. Again, 87.5%, grade in stopping the run, good for 96th percentile, 6th overall at his position. 22nd in run stops, being good enough for 5th at his position. So very good defender, extremely good run stopper that we acquired today from the Las Vegas Raiders. And just interesting footnote for those who like to keep up with Carolina Panthers and where they are now. Well, Las Vegas Raiders filled their gap by acquiring former Carolina Panther Jeremy Chinn. So Jeremy Chinn has also filled a gap as Tre'von Moehrig, hopefully I'm tripping over that name, has now left the Raiders and signed with the Carolina Panthers. All right, let me continue to work through my list here. All right, what's going on, Chance Hines? Appreciate you tuning in. It's a good Monday. It's been so busy, I kind of messed up dinner, so people may be mad at me tonight, but we'll get through. We'll get through dinner. All right, let's continue to move on through this list here. It's a pretty big list. Next up, the Panthers have agreed to terms with this gentleman right here. From the Minnesota Vikings, the Carolina Panthers agreed to terms on a 2-year deal with outside linebacker Patrick Jones II. That 2-year deal is worth up to $20 million. 2 years, up to $20 million from the Vikings. Continuing on with these guys, been some good solid run defenders. He ranked 78th. I'm sorry, not 78th. He was in the 78th percentile, meaning he's pretty decent against the run. And this guy's strong. This guy squatted 675 pounds. That's like several of me. Pretty strong guy. Will be useful up front with Derek Brown and stopping the run. How big is this guy? I didn't get that. Let me look that up really quick. Let's see if he's a hog molly, over 300 pounds. No, he's actually a lighter guy. He is actually 264 pounds. So we didn't get a hog molly, as Dave Gettleman likes to call him, but definitely got a run stopper. Interestingly, he was born in Japan, but grew up in Virginia, but he was born in Japan on a military base. Dad's obviously a military guy. So that's another free agent sign. That was our second free agent signing. Again, this gentleman right here, Patrick Jones II, coming to us from the Minnesota Vikings. All right, this guy right here. Where is it? Did I delete it? Oh man, I'm trying to see. There I go, trying to be fancy and can't get it right. I was trying to show the picture of Dan Morgan, but I don't have it. Gotta say, Dan Morgan, a very busy guy today. Let's continue on with the next man up. That was Patrick Jones. And now we have another lineman. I'm sorry. Correction. Let me go back. Okay. Reading information kind of got mixed up, so let me backtrack so I can maintain my credibility here. I went to check the guy's weight, saw that he wasn't 300 pounds, said, okay, he's kind of light for a lineman. Think he should be out on the edge, but I'm like, all right. It says he's a good. Correction. Patrick Jones, outside linebacker. That's why he's 264. Again, correction, my apologies. Patrick Jones, Minnesota Vikings. This guy right here is not a lineman, not helping Derek Brown. He will indirectly, but not directly as a defensive lineman will. Again, Patrick Jones II, 2 years deal, worth up to $20 million, outside linebacker from the Minnesota Vikings. I'm sorry about that. All right, now let's continue to go to the next guy here. Want to show you one more thing about Patrick Jones here. How good is this guy at what he does? He gets some pressure. I don't have a little laser dot to show you guys here, but basically he gets to the quarterback, has a havoc rate you see here on the left, almost just over 3.5% of the time. Average time to pressure 2.8. He can get to the quarterback. He can wreak some havoc there. Pretty much one of the top guys that wreaked havoc from that position. That's a little chart there which you can show. So these are just the free agents and how good they were. And there's not many that was better than him. So a really, really good signing there for Patrick Jones. All right, let's go to the next guy here, who is indeed a lineman, who is indeed a hog molly. So let me look up his weight really quick so I can get back on track and stay on track here. 1 second. But this here is Bobby Brown, the second, which we acquired from the Los Angeles Rams. All right, this is much better here. 6'4", 328 pounds, 4th round pick out of Texas A&M. This is Bobby Brown. I said the second, but it's actually the third. Bobby Brown, the third defensive lineman, is now a member of your Carolina Panthers. Shout outs to John Ellis for this information here. Got some good information about this lineman, Bobby Brown, who will be directly helping none other than Derek Brown, building up this line, building up this defense. We got defensive help at all levels today. We got defensive help at the front, the middle, and the back. Stay tuned for all those guys coming up here. But again, shout out to John Ellis for this information. He ranked 24th among the league's 200-plus defensive linemen with solo tackles. He also pretty good in assisted tackles at 26. Missed tackle rate, pretty darn low. He was 6 rated. Only had a 3.3 missed tackles, okay? So that's really good. Not only you get guys that are big, good at stopping the run, but these guys don't miss tackles. Man, sound in the house kind of distracted me there. Yeah, 3.3% miss rate, 13th best for all defensive linemen with 150 run snaps. Brown gets a 3-year, $21 million contract with incentives that could take it up to 27. So again, Bobby Brown, the third defensive lineman from the Los Angeles Rams, are now with the Carolina Panthers, gets a 3-year, $21 million contract with up to $27 million total of that contract with incentives. So are we done yet? No, we are not done. We still have even more information for you guys. Yet another free agent signing. This one, Chiefs defensive tackle Tershawn Wharton. Again, Chiefs defensive tackle Tershawn Wharton signs a three-year deal worth $45 million. Incentives could push it to 54. So again, 3-year deal worth $45 million. Incentives could push it up to 54. And yeah, want some stats on him about his weight and height, since I was giving it for the other guy. He is a lighter defensive tackle, 6'1", but he's shorter, so he's not, the other guy was 6'4", 260-ish. This guy's 6'1", 280. So definitely built better for that line with that rate, 6'1", 280. He went undrafted, actually. Undrafted guy in 2020, formerly with the Chiefs, will now be with your Carolina Panthers. I'm going to have to start wearing my glasses here soon. Let me see if I got any other good information about him. Wharton has 6.5 sacks last year with the Chiefs, playing next to their star Chris Jones. So again, 6.5 sacks, pretty good. We could use some more sacks over here, along with the run stop. So Dan Morgan and company addressing the needs of the Carolina Panthers. And just when you thought they were done, so far we have Jaycee Horn becoming the highest paid cornerback in the league, being signed. So he was re-signed to the Carolina Panthers. Then we got safety Tre'von Moehrig from the Raiders. That's one free agent. We then got Patrick Jones II from the Vikings, outside linebacker. That's the second free agent. We then got the Rams defensive tackle Bobby Brown III. That's our third free agent. By the way, how about these names? We got Bobby Brown, we've had Michael Jackson, and we've had Michael Jordan. we don't mind a guy with the popular name of a celebrity, do we? So that's 3 free agents. And then we had a 4th free agent. We signed the Chiefs defensive tackle Tershawn Wharton. So 1 re-signing, 4 free agents, and then Dan was like, nah, we're not done. We're not done. We got one more to let you guys know about. That would have been Mike Jackson, who I just mentioned as terms of one of those celebrity names, and who I also alluded to earlier when I said, well, this is as of, the end of the season, we had all these free agent openings, but this free agent is now back, so we now have 3 guys under contract back there in that secondary, not to mention DeMonde Richardson, so technically that's 4. But Mike Jackson agreed to terms with the Carolina Panthers today. Mike Jackson agreed to terms with the Carolina Panthers today. He agreeing to terms, 2-year, $14.5 million. 2 years, $14.5 million. So a lot of transactions for the Carolina Panthers today. So as always, I invite you to keep it locked here for updates on these Carolina Panthers and all the moves that they're making. As if there's news every day, I'm going live every day. Some days I may circle back and come back to give you more information about guys, because part of it is I want to get this content out there so you can know at a decent level what's going on, who they are, how much money they've been paid, what holes we're filling. And then I'll come back and maybe do some more in-depth analysis on these players. So thank you all for watching. We'll continue cranking out these videos and this content. One favor that I have not asked for that I'm certainly going to ask for, make sure you like, subscribe, Tell a friend. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers, okay? Really would like your support in doing that. Like the video, subscribe, and if you've already done that, also make sure you leave a comment. Leaving a comment saying anything that helps the YouTube algorithm show the video to other Carolina Panther fans. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Chris Jenkins for Charlotte Vibe.